What's up, guys? It's me, Ronnie Zamora. Remember when I read The Truth Behind SpongeBob SquarePants? Well, there's another truth behind SpongeBob SquarePants. But this time, SpongeBob and his friends weren't sea creatures in that truth I'm about to read right now. Those were actually people. So let's get together and read this. I'm gonna look at the computer screen because the other truth is in the computer screen. So let's go. This is the truth behind the popular kid show SpongeBob SquarePants. How do I know this? I went to the Nickelodeon studio and I found a safe for some reason. It wasn't locked, so of course I looked in it and found a book. I looked in it and there was newspaper articles about deaths. I snuck it home and read it. I will tell you the story about the humans that inspired a cartoon about sea life. The Bikini Bottom was built in the late 1830s in California. Mr. Krabs, whose real name was Eugene, was born there in 1841. His father abandoned him and his mother, who were always poor. When he first discovered money, he became obsessed with it. He and his mother eventually gained thousands of dollars. His mom eventually died of natural causes in 1804 at the age of 72. Eugene went to the Navy shortly after, and died from drowning in the ocean after jumping off the battleship to swim to a chest of gold on an island in 1899 at age 58. The ship was blown shortly after. Squidward, whose real name is unknown, was born an exact year after the Navy tragedy in 1900. He was born with a heart condition and was bullied for it. He became depressed and tried committing suicide several times. He finally succeeded in 1934 by hanging himself. He was 34. SpongeBob was born in 1936. He was always friendly to people, even people who bullied him, as they often did. When World War II was hitting full swing in his hometown, his parents sent him to Bikini Bottom when he was only 5 years old in 1941. His parents were killed by Hitler in 1943. He didn't have many friends, but he always looked at the bright side of things. Sadly, he developed manic depression. He was an early drug user. He began thinking things were there such as voices and people, but they really weren't. As a result, on his 21st birthday party in 1957, he overdosed on drugs. His fake friends were at his side. His cat Gary starved to death a few days later. Patrick was born minutes after SpongeBob died. He fell off his bike when he was 10 years old and developed brain damage. His only friend was SpongeBob's ghost. He went to a special aid class because of the brain damage. One day, he was having a moment of stupidity. He drove his bike off a hill and died at age 18 in 1975. Sandy was born in Texas in 1978 and moved to Bikini Bottom in 1985. She was a very good student, and science was her best subject. She was also gifted in karate, but one day in 1998, she messed up on a science project demonstration in her college, and the chemicals caught on fire and blew Bikini Bottom College up. She was 20 years old. A dwarf man named Sheldon Plankton started researching this story ever since, and in 2002 he was stabbed to death by a gang member. He was 60 years old. Sheldon was a crazed conspiracy researcher. The book said by Sheldon P. So he documented all of these deaths in a scrapbook, of which I have in my safe. The show started on the 100th anniversary of Eugene's death in 1999. Sheldon helped create the show. Bikini Bottom is still up today, but has been shut down in 2009. But the ghosts are still there. Everybody who visited Everybody who visited have since have the, everybody who visited there since have all died in a painful way and even committed suicide. What a twist! What a twisted truth for a kids show. If you don't believe me, visit there yourself. SpongeBob and his friends will be waiting. Okay, so author of this book, so you're telling me that SpongeBob and his friends in this story were actually humans? And then they became sea creatures when the show started? Wow. When I first heard of this story on YouTube, I fooled myself into thinking the heart condition part was SpongeBob, but that was actually Squidward. And at the same time, the first time I heard of this, I thought SpongeBob and his friends were sea creatures, but in this story they were actually humans. I can't believe I fooled myself into thinking that they were sea creatures in this story. Now I realize that in this story they were actually humans. And if they died, but here's one thing I don't get. If they all died in different generations, then how did they know each other? Maybe they were ghosts, according to the late part of this story. Okay, I hope you enjoy this. Please subscribe, make sure to comment and smash the like button, and hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button. And by the way, I did not make this story up. It was someone else. This is Ronnie Zamora, signing off.